what I'm realizing and what I just go through every day is there has, looking back at just like everything I've gone through in my life. I mean, this is just like a deep philosophy, Buddhism, maybe. I'm not sure. I haven't delved into Buddhism much or anything, but there hasn't been an experience in my life where when I'm suffering, it isn't directly tied to me having bullshit expectations. Yeah. It all goes back to like, in my mind, what are my expectations? If they're not met, of course I'm going to suffer. So you like, when I can get to that place in my life where it doesn't matter what's actually happening, if I can mitigate my expectations, I'm not going to suffer, and I still, all the time, every day I'm going through this shit, but my life has definitely profoundly changed, just kind of becoming more aware about this stuff and talking about it in depth and having all these different conversations that really, in my opinion, right now, just what I'm experiencing, expectations are the cause for, you feeling like shit.
I think it was Elon Musk, right? Didn't he say that happiness is life minus expectations?
And it is. I mean, it's like what you're saying. A 6 is like, why can't that be a 10? Right, and it's because you're expecting more if you want a 10 and you're at a 6. It's all like your expectations.
I do think...
like physical pain, that's like obviously a different thing. If someone's punching you in the face every day, it's just a completely different conversation. But like emotionally speaking...
Yeah. I think you can have general expectations that are really healthy, but when those expectations manifest themselves in really specific ways, right? So, like for example, like one expectation I have in life is to be fulfilled by my line of work, but that could surface in that could look a lot of different ways, right? Which allows me every day to meet that expectation if I frame it, correctly.
But it's like you said on that other podcast, you're like, the relationships don't change. Nothing changes. Right. It's your, whatever you said, you're like it's your, and it is like.
Exactly. So like I could go into work with a vague expectation that I think is healthy. Something like, I want to be fulfilled today. I want to do something productive. I want to help someone. That's it. Right. That can be fulfilled in so many ways. So chances are I will succeed at that, because that's a pretty general expectation. But like if I go into work with really specific, like today, I'm going to talk to my principal and I'm going to get $10,000 of funding today, or I won't have a good day. Like, okay, that's way too specific, first off. And two, it's kind of not seeing reality as it is in the sense that it's way out of your hands, Like
this would be good for our cliche podcast idea.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like
there is a big cliche about the word kind of like the word judgment, like don't judge. I don't know. I have qualms with that also.
The judgment, or both of them?
The phrase "don't judge" or "I don't judge," meaning that you're like that the word judgment is always bad.
That it's innate.
Like if I give you a compliment, if I said, "Oh yeah, that was really insightful," I'm making a judgment about what you said. About your comment. Happens to be a very positive one. It can compliments are judgments.
Our language is so sloppy in that sense.
Yeah, I know. We need more. I mean, this is how words evolve and change. I get it. It's fine. But just I try to catch it before it escapes my lips. If I say don't have an expectation, I mean it'd be like if I didn't show up to work one day and my boss called me and said, "Where are you?" And I said, "Oh, sounds like you really had an expectation about me being at work today, didn't you? Yeah. Maybe you should adjust that, right? You'd be less unhappy, right? Right. Hey, that's your problem. Am I right? Yeah. I'm enjoying myself at home. My expectations are okay. Please, right? They had a rightful adjust expectation about me making a promise or a commitment, to show up to work. And similarly, I might expect something completely reasonable if I combine 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen, that's going to produce something, and that's not. There's no buts about it. That's not even a wishy-washy. That has a probability of one outcome. So seeing the world as it is also might be just a form of knowing what to expect rather than whether to expect. Not having no expectations or some expectations, but what are your expectations or what do you expect? How do you expect that? And then, like we were saying, just proportionately, if there's a 99% chance that I'll show up to work every day, but if a business runs with if a business runs with a 100% expectation that everyone will show up every day, that is, there's going to be a crack. You know, that's the Jenga tower where the one day you pull exactly. And it all tumble down, right? Because the one person is inevitably something's going to happen.
Right.
Because again, another expectation is that life will be the same all the time. And then if it's not, that's where the suffering is. But if I don't expect life to be the same all the time, then I don't have to have a perfect prediction. I just have to not expect it to be the same all the time. And then change happens, and then you go, right, of course, because everything, of course it did.
I like that. Just thinking of it more in terms of like getting better at knowing what to expect. It's kind of like that's the goal, is try, and that's what wisdom is, right?
You had asked, so I apologize, I'm just now getting to this, but when you talk about choosing to react to your world or to see your world differently, it is true that everyone has a predisposition to some, I don't know if I want to call it positivity or negativity, but our outlook largely is personality and temperament and a lot of things that we did not choose. But we can learn absolutely to change. And I had a very bleak outlook when I was younger, and I just the world was a depressing place. I was really high strung, and it was not good. And it's what I also don't like doing, because it's profoundly untherapeutic, is to treat people like there's a switch in their brain that they can just flip it basically, and their whole life changes. Oh, everything's fine. Didn't you realize? Because some things are not fine. And I don't know how else to say that, but I would.
Yeah, there are people doing that right now, making it sound like, why the fuck don't you just see it?
When a client comes in, I work in addiction also. If a client comes into recovery and they're 24 hours sober from a very, very long addiction, and they're just jazzed and ready and like everything's going to be perfectly fine and life is good and there's no reason to ever worry or become upset or to imagine that things won't be perfect. That worries me way more than the person that goes, wow, life has sucked for a long time. You know, I don't insist that people can present however they want, but again, the vulnerability is what I'm concerned about. I love the positive outlook. It's great, but I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't expect somebody, or actually grief and loss is probably a better example. If somebody lost somebody close to them, the prescription might not be just, come on, cheer up. You know, everything's going to be fine. Right. There's a place for acknowledging that things are not okay. But again, the difference between pain and suffering totally matters to me. Yeah. So someone can be grieving. In fact, clients have told me this in the past when I have been a little too eager to change that. So anyway, just giving a space for the positive and the negative in terms of experience and not in terms of suffering. Where if I, just like working out, there will be days that I feel fantastic because I've been working out and days that I feel in pain because I've been working out. But overall, my relationship to both those things is the same. It's just all par for the course.